Now we are going to sort the array using the minimum program that we discussed earlier. This is a really simple program, and it relies on the minimum logic or the maximum logic, and I have written the code here of the minimum program. So before you get started, I want you to grab a pen and a paper again and try to see how you would sort the array. So our tip here is that if we see the sorted array, it goes by 2, 3, 10, 19, and 55. Another way of saying that is it's like minimum and the second minimum and the third minimum, fourth minimum and the fifth minimum. Or on the other way around, it's like the largest, second largest, third largest, fourth largest, and so on. This sorting array can be described in terms of the minimum element as well. So in this video, it will be a comprehensive lecture on sorting the array, and I will be explaining to you how you can brainstorm on your own to solve different questions. So it will be really essential for you. It will help your logic building process. First, we will brainstorm. We will see how we can come up with the approach to solve the code or to sort the array, and then we will keep on improvising. The point is not just to give you the code so you can learn it or understand it. The point is that you are able to make such codes on the go in any scenario, especially in exams. So your general programming practices need to get improved, need to get enhanced. So that is the point. If I just show you the code here, you would not be able to go through that brainstorming process. So we will make the code together, and we will see how we can do the logical thinking, the logic building process. So let's get started. Here we already have a minimum element code. So let me print the output of this code. The minimum is 2, so that is the output of the code. So in this program, we will be, as I told earlier, we will not be using the bubble sort. So we will be using the logic of minimum program. So 2 is the minimum element, 3 is the second minimum element, 10 is the third minimum element, and so on. So we will be using that logic to sort the array. But first, we will just be printing out each minimum element one after another. So the first minimum element is already printed, and if I wanted to find the second minimum element, one way to do it would be to change the first minimum element after finding it and replacing it with something else, replacing it with sort of a flag that tells that one minimal element has already been found. Now you're supposed to find the second minimal element. So in the place of 2 here, I could write something like maybe 999. It could be a flag that means that first minimal element has already been found, and so now you're supposed to find the second element. So to do that, I need to have a variable that stores the indexes or the the indices in which the minimal element is there. So here we are assuming the minimal element is in the first position, in which in the previous video I explained why we assume that. So now I'm going to have an index variable, and wherever is the minimal element, we are going to store the index of that element as well. So here we are having assuming the 0 is the minimal element, so index should be 0. And whenever the minimal element is changed here, the index need to change to reflect that as well. So the index will be I. So let's see what happens if we print out the index as well. So index is, and let's just print out the index and print the output. Oops. So the minimum is 3, and on the 3 index it is there, so which is true. This is the 0th index, first index, second index, and third index. So this code is working for the minimum element. So how do I find the second minimum element now? For the convenience right now, we will just be printing on the screen. First, we will not sort the array. The point is to make a bad code first, the simplest code first, the easiest code first, and then to generalize the code, to improvise the code and make the efficient version, not to try to make a complex code from the start. I have oftentimes seen that teachers will try to show you difficult programs or ask you to make difficult programs, but essentially you always want to start out from slow. You always want to start out from the beginning, and the beginning approach is to make the simplest code as possible. It is often the bad looking code, but you want to make the bad code first and then see how you can improve that code, which is essentially why I have not started this with a bubble code. I mean, the point was to sort the array, not to learn some complex code. That is not the point. The point is you should be able to make programs yourself on the go, not to memorize a piece of code, as all the codes are already available in the internet. So what's the point? You are not supposed to memorize the code. You are supposed to be able to make good codes yourself, and the best approach of that is you should start with a bad code and then improve it. We will be coding along the way, and then we will make the efficient code in the last generalized version of what we start in the beginning. So initially we will make several for loops and find each minimum in the array. First we'll find the minimum element, and then the second minimum, and then the third minimum or the third lowest, and then the fourth and the fifth. So that is by definition the sorting of an array as well. So after we have developed that, then we will do a nested loop and see how we can simplify things. But first we will do this bad approach and see how we can improve ourselves. So we have already found the minimum, and then I'm just going to copy paste this minimum code to find the second minimum as well. But before I do that, I need to make sure that the minimum is changed. So because this code is only finding the minimum, it is not designed to find the second minimum, but we can modify our program to find the second minimum as well. And to do that, it's really easy. We will just change the minimum element to some kind of a flag. So we would do this like in the index is 3, which is the minimum, which is the index for the minimum element, which is 2. So in the 3 position, from 0 1 to 3, in the 3 position we are going to add something else here. So we have made this a flag, which means if 999 is there, it means that one minimum element has already been found. So now I will copy paste this code to find the minimum element again. But before I do that, I need to reset the minimum and the index variables as well. So let the minimum element again be the 1, again be the 0 in the array, and the index be 0 as well. So let's see now what is our printing out. Oops. Okay. So let's see what happens now when we try to run the code. So first it tells that the minimum element is 2, and then it tells the minimum element is 3, which is essentially right. We are in a way sorting the array, right? So I'm just going to copy paste this code again and see where that leads us. Let's copy paste it again, and maybe again, and let's see what happens now. Okay, so one thing is missing here in the copy paste. I forgot to copy paste the flag thing here. So let me do it again after the print statement, the flag statement. So I have done it about 5 times, I think. So first we find the minimum, and then we find the second minimum, and then we find the third minimum, the fourth minimum, and the fifth minimum. So will this work? Let's find out. Run the code g++ test.cpp and a.out. So what is happening here, our output is beginning from this line. Minimum is 2, and minimum is 2, that is right. And then the second minimum is 3, which is also right. The third minimum is 10, right? And the fourth is 19, and the fifth is 55. So we have sorted the array, and it was really easy to do it, right? We just use the minimum logic and we have sorted the array. So now we are going to generalize all this long code. Instead of having for loop again and again, we are just going to make one loop, the outsider loop, and one inner loop. So the outsider loop will tell how many times it has to execute. So we can see here that we have executed it 4 times, although we can do it just 5 times, although we can do it just 4 times, as when we have sorted the 4 element in the array, the 5th element is automatically in the right spot. So here we are running the for loop once, twice, thrice, 4 times, and 5 times. So we would do it from 0 to 4 times, but we don't have to do it the last time, because on the 4 elements the array is already sorted. Don't need to find for the last element, as it's automatically in the correct place. So we would have 2 loops. One is an outer loop that is dealing with all this number of loops, and one is an inner loop which is going iterating the array once. So let's simplify the code and see what happens. So I'm just going to delete all of this tedious code. So let's run it again. g+test.cpp, error out. Okay, so minimum is 2 and its index is 3, so that is right. So we need to have an outer loop. The inner loop is already there. So what we want to do is, first we will find the minimum element, and then we will place it in the first position. Let me explain in the Paint application how it's supposed to work. So we have this array. So first we will find the minimum element, which is 3, and then we will swap it with the first position. So then we will have like 3, 9, 5, 99 and 105. So after the first finding of the minimum element, the array would be like this. And then we would do a second loop that will only go from the 1 element onto the 105. It would not check for 3 again, as we had already established the minimum element. We are not going to, and we have correctly placed it in its appropriate position. So in the second iteration, we would go from a 9 to 105, and then on the third, and by the end of the second iteration, in the 9, in this position, we would actually have 5, as 5 is the minimum in this array. So in here we have 5, and in here we would have 9, and then the process will repeat. The first 2 digits are in the right place, and then we would make another loop from here to the end, and then another loop from here to the end, and no need to make a loop from here to the end, as it's automatically in the right place. So that is how the thing is working, and now we are going to see how we would do the coding for it. So that we have an outer loop that goes for n-1 times. N here is 5, so it goes for 4 times. So in programming, in where indexes begin by 0, so it would be like 0, 1, 2, 3. So it would be from 0 to 4 actually. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 4, and I plus plus. Okay, so I should change the variable here as well. Okay, let me just change the outer variable. Okay, so it seems good now. So it tells the number of times the minimum program is supposed to execute. This is the minimum program, and this is the number of times it should execute. So initially we will have minimum is equal to 10 and index is equal to 0. So let's see how the code loop works. So a is equal to 0, a is less than 4, a plus plus. So a here is 0. Int I is equal to 1. So in the Paint example here, we established that the inner loop starts from here, and then it started from here, and then it started from here, and so on. So it's actually a plus 1. So a is our outer loop, and the I should actually be a plus 1. As when we have already established a minimum number, we don't have to go towards it again, as the program would say that is the minimum. We want to find the first minimum, the second minimum, third minimum. When we have placed it in the right position, we want to ignore that position. We do not want to loop in it again. So we would begin it like this and then like this. So it's a plus 1. So I goes from a plus 1, I is less than 5, and I plus plus. So for first iteration, a is 0 and I is a plus 1. So it goes from this to this from 3 to 55, and it compares if 10 is less than 3. No, it's not. So then it would make 3 as the minimum value, and then it would compare if 3 is less than 19. No, yes, 3 is less than 19, so it would do nothing. It would compare is 3 less than 2. Yes, 2 is less than 3 obviously, but 3 is not less than 2, so our minimum would now be 2. So in the first iteration where a is equal to 0, we have found the minimum to be 2. So now we want to, after finding 2, we want to bring 2 to the first position in the sorted position. So 2 should be here, and we will swap it with 10, so 10 would be here. So how we would do that? First we need to make sure the entire array is iterated, so maybe the 2 could be in the last position as well. So after we have gone through each and every element, only then we are going to perform the swap process. If I is equal to 4, and then we are going to swap the elements. So in the index we would have 3, so ARR index should have so in the place of here we should actually have the 10 here, so which is the a value. So ARR index should have ARR a. So it means what we have done now is the array is now 10, 3, 19, 10 and 55. So in the array we have replaced the 2 with a 10. Now we need to replace the first 10 with the 2, the minimum element that we had found. So we would do it like this: ARR and a is equal to min. So after the first iteration it would look like this. But what about the second iteration? The thing is, after we have successfully completed an iteration, we want to change our minimum and index value as well. So the minimum would be like, for instance, in the first iteration we had assumed that 10 is the minimum, which was the first element. But after we have found the first minimum element, which is now 2, I want to make the second loop from this from 3 to 55, right? So now I would assume that the minimum value is ARR 1, not ARR 0, and the index would be 1. So I need to reflect that change as well after we have done the inner loop once. So the inner loop has been completed here, and before it is executed again, I need to change the minimum value as well. So the minimum would be ARR, index is a plus 1 as well, as the a value is going to increase from after the iteration. So this code should work now. Let me print out clear, and let me print out the array for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and cout ARR I, and okay, let's see the output. Okay, so we see our array has been sorted, and the program was incredibly easy to make. We had just to make the find minimum program, and we extended it to sort the array. It is so much simpler than the bubble sort, but it does the same thing. But if I were to show you this program from the start, you might be a bit confused how to make it and how I actually came up with the approach. You might be thinking, I'm a beginner, and how do people even come up with something like that on the first go? How can teachers expect us to make something like that? It doesn't seem possible. Like, I can understand the program, but I don't understand how to come up with a solution like that on my own. So this is why I broke down the program. I explained to you how to logic build and go beyond that to make a bad program, and then to simplify that, to generalize that, to make a good efficient program.